Hello to anybody watching. It is August 19th, 2026, and we got a big day today. Broader market, not so much, kind of flat. Nothing crazy. 0.21% green for the SPY, nothing wild. But the stock we're looking at today is Moderna, up over 170% at the time of market close, down a little bit after hours and overnight here, but a crazy day for Moderna. It closed yesterday around 62 bucks, and today, what did it close at? 174.38. Absolutely wild, up over $100 a share. Just nuts. And aftermarket, it went all the way up to 194. Just crazy. So we're going to talk about it. It's funny because over the years, I feel like I've seen some stocks rip, some bigger stocks rip like a crazy amount, and people are like, what? Did they cure cancer? And for this day, that's actually the case. Not exactly, but they had a pretty good breakthrough with their cancer research. So we're going to go over it real quick and talk about what might happen next. So for those of you who don't know, Moderna and Merck put out news today that their research on their cancer vaccine it did really well. They had a phase 3 trial that involved over 1,100 patients, and the results were pretty positive. So it's interesting because Merck has a drug for cancer, but Moderna has the vaccine for the cancer. To my understanding, what happens is the patients who took the vaccine with the Merck drug instead of just taking the Merck drug had a really good response, and it took their cancer a long time to come back or spread. So it really helped them, get better and stay better pretty much. So what's really interesting though is the Moderna vaccine. So, the Merck drug is, one serves all, it seems. So, someone just takes it and the next person takes it as well. But for the Moderna vaccine, it's specialized to your cancer. So pretty much they would look at your tumors and stuff and see what's going on exactly with you, what kind of cancer you have, how it's acting, all that stuff. And then Moderna would tailor their vaccine to treat you best, which would give you just, the best chance to stop it from spreading, stop it from coming back, and just get better. And this is crazy because cancer is a huge killer. I think we all know that. It's a tough one. Some people get cancer and they beat it, but then it comes back. Then they beat it and then it comes back. And ultimately, a lot of people die from it. So for any company to have a breakthrough to, give it a chance to be beaten and not return or just straight up cured, that's just going to drive an insane price increase because, imagine you have cancer, how unfortunate that would be. And someone's like, hey, we have this vaccine where, we'll treat it and you take this vaccine and it probably won't come back. And even while you have it, you can take the vaccine and it probably won't spread. So it's more contained and treatable. Who's not going to take that? No matter how much it costs. I feel like people would pay $1 million to cure their cancer. So very, very big news here. Moderna was also pretty decently shorted. I believe it was around 13% short interest. So a lot of people were piled onto shorts for this stock. That's kind of how a lot of biotech stocks are. Any stocks that have to do with these trials that can make or break the stock price for a little bit. Short sellers love to pile on if they're speculative about their future performance, but when all those shorts are piled on and they release some news like this, those guys have to close. Imagine you short this thing. It was already doing okay, but imagine you shorted this thing at $60 and the stock price rips up to $150. You're going to be down $90 a share, which is 1.5 times more than the initial price of the share when you sold it short. You're down $90 a share and you shorted at $60 a share. It's a crazy loss. You're down, 150%? So just wild. So a lot of shorts definitely had to close out their positions here. You can see we got Moderna on the left, Merck on the right. As soon as the news came out, it went from 62 bucks and it broke above $100. By the time the market opened, it was in the 115 area, right above 110. And, it didn't take long for it to keep going. It went absolutely crazy throughout the whole day, pretty much just up all day. You saw some little dips here and there, but they got scooped right up because the FOMO is going to kick in, the short sellers have to close, and ultimately, a lot of options went in the money, a lot of call options. So any of those that the market makers weren't delta neutral for, they're going to have to buy those shares to get back to being delta neutral. So that probably had a little bit of a gamma squeeze effect as well. So pretty crazy stuff. Now, what can happen next? Honestly, I don't really know. I'm not a biotech guy, But ultimately, if they continue to develop this thing and it becomes the mainstream way to treat and cure cancer, oh my gosh, imagine what Moderna is going to do. I'll go back to Moderna here on its own. You can see that by the month, back during, I'm going to say 6 years ago, I don't know how sensitive YouTube is on that word nowadays, but 6 years ago, Moderna went crazy, went up to $500 a share. Now, that was a very particular scenario there where, it kind of seemed like they were saving the damn world, but it could kind of have the same effect here because think about it. It might not be as violent and like, not as quick of a move up to those price levels, but if they have sustained development of this drug and it is just, mainstream, like I said, if it's the mainstream way to treat or cure people's cancer and it can be developed specifically to what kind of cancer you have, how it's acting and all that stuff, if they can just make a straight counter of your type of cancer with a vaccine and sell it to you, who's not going to buy that? They're going to just make so much money. So, ultimately, the biggest win is people getting cured and people surviving longer or just getting completely better. But we're a stock market YouTube channel here. So a really cool thing on the side of that is that this stock price might go crazy. We'll see over the coming months, weeks. I don't know. We'll see maybe tomorrow. Like I said, it's down after hours today, but who knows? They could, analysts could come out and upgrade the stock. You could see institutions taking large positions if they believe in the future of this vaccine and treatment and all this stuff. So it could get pretty good for Moderna here. Now, look, if you didn't get in at $60, I know I didn't. You might have missed the boat. Most of the meat might be off of the bone here, but I mean, hey, if it gradually dies down over time, but behind the curtains, they're still working on this thing and developing it, which I'm sure they will be if they got a really good phase 3 result here. You can see Moderna just continue to grow ever since 6 years ago. Ever since that, you can see it kind of just fizzled out, and it was like, yeah, Moderna is like, kind of what they were before 2020. So it came all the way down to the $22 a share, as you can see there at the bottom. But now they have a new little thing going for them. Not little, a new big thing going for them. So we'll ultimately see. I imagine Merck will probably do well if Moderna does well. Merck's pretty solid. I feel like over time, let's take a look at this past many years. Merck is much more, it's giving a much stronger chart than Moderna is because they're not just relying on one black swan event from 6 years ago to sustain a lot of their revenue. They're a huge company that does a lot with medicine and all that. So it's a different story for them. That's why, like, you might not see as crazy of a move. They're a bigger company and, they're not as beat down as Moderna was. Moderna was down to 20 something dollars a share. Like, that's pretty beat down compared to the $500 they were at back 6 years ago. So we'll see. We'll ultimately see. This is going to be exciting to watch, though. I don't know exactly what's going to happen next. Who knows? We could get bad news on it, and that would be a shame all around, both for the stock price and for the sake of those who, need some type of treatment for what they've got. But we'll hope that doesn't happen, and we'll hope that it's all fine and dandy and that the stock stays fun and keeps going up here. So that's what we've got. That's why it went up today. For the most part, I'm no scientist or biochemist, whatever you'd call it. So I'm just a dude who likes stocks. So that's my simple way of explaining it to you. If you enjoyed, thanks so much for watching. I enjoyed talking about it. So I will see you next time. Have a good one.